Okay, so hello and welcome to yet another Gaming Masters video. Today I'm going to be giving you a overall opinion on what the future of the Battlefield franchise may be. Now, I've not played Battlefield in quite a few weeks actually. I haven't played Hardline in probably about 2 months, and then I haven't played Battlefield 4 probably until this week for about the same amount of time. Now, I've returned to Battlefield 4 today to record this gameplay, and I've done a few cinematic stuff, but I've not played it properly, and I actually kind of feel like coming back to Battlefield 4. It's been out for almost 2 years now, and it's getting a bit stale, which is why I left it. However, I'm going to be talking about the future of the whole franchise. I'm not just going to be talking about Battlefield 4 and Battlefield Hardline, I'm going to be talking about beyond Battlefield Hardline. Now, we all know that there is going to be continued support for Battlefield 4 until most likely when the next Battlefield game is out next year. Now, it hasn't been confirmed that it's going to be until next year, but they said that they're going to continue support. So, it would make sense, bearing in mind Hardline isn't being played as much, that they kept the players happy on the game that has been fixed over the past year by DICE LA. Now, Battlefield 4 has currently got ongoing projects. We've just had the Operation Night Maps released, and now we're going to have the Dragon Valley remake added. We're going to have the community map launching on the full patch, and we're also going to be having the Dragon Valley DLC also added. So we've got a lot of content still coming through the pipelines over the next few months, and I can imagine that there would be more content. They have now confirmed that there won't be any more remasters because it just takes so much time up. So we might be seeing variants of maps, we might be seeing new maps, not necessarily huge maps, and not necessarily a lot of maps, simply because it takes so much time for a map to be developed from scratch. And remastering, even though it sounds quick, it is not a press of a button. It's going to take months to remaster. Back in June we got the Dragon Valley map in Battlefield 4 in the CTE, and it's still not ready to be released yet. So you can imagine how long it takes. They've been refining it, they've been having to do it from scratch, they've been working out better placements, they've been working out where things should go and things like that, and it takes a lot of thought process and power, and also a lot of teamwork to be able to get something like that on the go. Now, we might not even have any more maps next year because the player base is slowly dying for Battlefield 4 once again. However, I think that there will still be some support for the next year, roughly. Now, Battlefield Hardline, we're going to be having in the next patch. Along with the paid DLC, we're also going to be having a free DLC. Now, in fact, no, we're not having a paid DLC in the next one. We're having a free DLC where we're having 2 maps released for everybody, and it's going to be night versions of 2 maps. Now, I believe it's the Woodlands map, which is part of the DLC, and that's going to be a night variant, and then we're also going to be having the one of the base vanilla maps made into night map. Both these maps will be completely free for everybody in the next patch, which we'll be expecting hopefully by the end of November. Now, Battlefield 4 is slowly dying. Battlefield Hardline, the player base is fairly weak, and I haven't been able to play it mainly because it keeps on crashing on Xbox One, and we're still waiting for the next patch. It's been doing it for 2 patches now, so I've just not really played it. Also, I spent 145 hours on the game when it launched, and I just don't feel like playing it. Future Battlefield games, however, we've got to have something stable at launch. We've got to have a good experience. Now, it has to be next year. If we don't have another one next year, the player base is going to die even more. And what the fans want may be different from what is actually going to happen. Now, we've been confirmed it's out next year. It's going to be at Christmas. They've said that it's going to be like that. So, we haven't had any reveal, though, of if it's Battlefield 5, if it's Bad Company 3, if it's going to be Battlefield 2143, or if it's going to be Battlefield 1944. Now, it could even be another spin-off. I highly doubt that, though. So, I'm going to follow the Bad Company 3 route or the Battlefield 5 route, because they said that it's going to return to the military theme. Bad Company 3 in some ways makes sense because it's been absent from the franchise for a few years. The player base is actually fairly strong for a 4-year-old video game on Battlefield Bad Company 2, so it kind of makes sense, and it's what the fans want. And a lot of developers recently have leaned over towards, the fans want this, let's do this. So it would make sense if it is Bad Company 3. Also, there aren't currently any Bad Company games on Xbox One or PS4, therefore it might make sense to have something on that platform. However, in some ways I doubt that it's going to be like that, because DICE themselves have come out and said, we don't know what people enjoy about the Bad Company franchise, we don't know why people are so hyped for it, why people enjoy it so much. So, I'm starting to think maybe they're either just teasing us and they are working on a Bad Company 3, or they actually honestly don't know why so many people enjoyed the Bad Company franchise. Now, even though I've played every Battlefield since Battlefield 2, it doesn't mean I've put hours and hours into each of the games. Battlefield 2, I didn't even realise was part of the Battlefield franchise when I bought it. I bought it on PC, I just played about half an hour of it, the servers weren't working and stuff, and I just played half an hour of it, enjoyed it, sold it, done. Then I moved on to the Battlefield Heroes, which I'd played previously, and I didn't even know that was part of the Battlefield franchise. I played for free. I then played as well Battlefield Bad Company 2, then Bad Company, then Battlefield 3, and then Battlefield 4 and Battlefield Hardline in order of their launch. So I kind of, even though I've not played every game as much as some people have, I still played them, and I still understand the core mechanics, the core reason why I enjoy the franchise. I like the open spaces, I like to be able to have vehicles, which is one of the reasons behind me not liking COD as much. And I think there's got to be something that the players really do want. The past two games haven't been particularly brilliant, and Battlefield 3 is something that everybody goes by as the best Battlefield game, or even Bad Company 2, the game before that. So, I mean, after that. So, it's kind of, I don't actually know which one I want, Battlefield 5 or Battlefield Bad Company 3. I kind of want Bad Company 3 simply because I haven't played much of the previous Bad Companies, and I would like to play some more of it, but it's not as strong as it used to be on any platform, so I kind of need something that is going to be strong for the player base so I can actually enjoy it from the start. Now, Battlefield 5 would kind of make sense because it's a core addition to the franchise, and what I think will most likely happen is we have Battlefield Bad Company 3 out next year in November kind of time, and then in the following year we're going to have probably another spin-off. So I think that what they're going to do is alternate between the two. Now, don't hold me on this, but that is what I would enjoy, having Battlefield 5 next year, Bad Company 3 the next year, Battlefield 6 next year, or whatever other core part of the franchise, like 2143 or something like that. I mean 2144 or something like that. So it's going to hopefully be a lot more robust, but in some ways I don't want it to be a yearly franchise, simply because they rush it too much. DICE have a lot of work on their hands. We don't know which developer it's going to be, and if it's going to be DICE Sweden, I'm dreading the launch. Simply because they have Mirror's Edge and Star Wars Battlefront on at once. They're not controlling Battlefield 4 anymore, and DICE LA have only really just started in the past year, maybe 2 years. So it's, I doubt that they're going to be making their first game after only just starting the studio. And in Visceral, they've only just finished Battlefield Hardline this year. So if it's DICE Sweden, all I'm going to say is good luck, because if you screw this launch up, I highly suspect that the franchise isn't going to do as well as it could do. Simply because you've got your work overloaded. I don't think that you should be making the next Battlefield, simply because I don't really want another Battlefield 4 launch. And however, there is a gap in between of about 6, 7, 8, 9 months roughly between Mirror's Edge, their final game that's being launched this year that's been announced so far, and the Battlefield title launch. So there is a chance of them being able to put all of their team on that, but then they've also got Star Wars Battlefront, which is going to probably be their primary focus for the next few months and possibly the next year, simply because it's going to be such a big game in the terms of fan base coming towards it, even though it did lack gameplay in the beta. I mean, content in the beta, and I kind of do want a storyline in it, but I put my hands up, that's what they've decided to do. They're a multiplayer focused developer primarily, so you kind of do understand why they didn't do a campaign for it. I would like a campaign in the next Battlefield. It'd be awesome to have something. I don't particularly want something futuristic, so maybe World War II themed. That would be cool. We'll just have to wait and see for what they unveil, which will most likely be around about the May, June, July time of next year. Of course, I'll give you any updates that is provided to the community. And yeah, let's just wait for E3, possibly May. Sometimes they do reveal them a little bit before E3 to build up the hype. But yeah. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, follow, and of course, as always, subscribe for all of your latest Battlefield and gaming news. YouTube channel is coming back to full strength over the next few days and weeks, so don't forget to subscribe to get all of the latest content, and I shall see you in the next video.